just wondering if I'm going live or not, because I can't see it on YouTube. Doesn't seem to be happening. Ah, yes, I am live. Excellent. So I think it's just me watching myself though, but I can see it. But I thought I'd come live because I had an amazing weekend, but also I've had some news, and yeah, I thought I would share it with you. But I'm just going to wait a few minutes to see if anyone comes on. I don't usually go live on a Monday. Just getting rid of my tea bag. Yeah, I don't normally go live on a Monday, but yeah, I feel like I need to get stuff out. I don't know if I'm going to have anybody join me, because you're not really expecting me to go live on a Monday. Yeah, I might just have to talk to myself, because I've been on for 2 minutes now. And there's nobody here apart from me. I just oh, I've got someone joined us. Excellent. Hello. And yeah, talk to me if you're in the chat, because it would be really good. Oh no, I'm just clicking to see if I can see the messages, but I don't think I've got any yet. So yeah, so I've just been on LinkedIn this afternoon, and so Janet Murray, who I interviewed, you might have seen it, she was cancelled for saying that she didn't like the phrase pregnant people, and she's lost a load of business, and now she's been diagnosed with cancer as well. And this woman's having a pop at her, and I've been having to go back because she's basically got no empathy whatsoever for Janet, and is taking the side of men with lady feels. So yeah, so what am I going to talk about? Because I've only got, I think it's saying that there's 2 people, but one of them might be me, so I've got at least one person to talk to anyway. So I'm going to talk about this. I don't know if this will be back to front for you, but this is the Battle of Ideas Festival. It looks back to front for me, but I think it comes out the right way. So I'm going to talk about that, and I've had quite an exhausting weekend, and then I've come back and had some really bad news. It was awful. And yeah, I just wanted to talk about the experience, which I feel a bit flat actually, but I've had such a good weekend. I'm really exhausted, but I'm hoping I'll be able to feel like a bit more animated once I start getting into it. So yeah, so the news that I came back to was that there was a young man that we knew. Well, I call him a young man. He was probably in his 30s. I'm not sure how old he was, but he was younger than us. And my husband used to work with him, and they had a bit of well, they were quite close and they worked with each other, and my husband felt like it was like a father-son relationship kind of thing, because my husband hasn't got any kids apart from mine, and yeah, so he was quite close, and they used to go out and stuff, and he was a bit of a mentor for him. And so while I was away on Friday. I went on Friday. I'll talk more about that in a minute, but yeah, so I was out, and Ian went out with his friend from work, who he used to work with, and that's when he found out that this person that he used to work with has taken his own life, and I'm just really upset about it. So yeah. Hello Alison. Good to see you. You've just washed your hair and sat down to the computer with hair and a towel, so we'll be popping on and off. Yeah, I get it. I don't usually do a live on a Monday, but I've got stuff to talk about, so I thought I would come on. So yeah, so this, I suppose you could call him a friend of the family, who's taken his own life, and he had a wife and 2 children. Like the last time I saw him, he just the new baby was just born. It was probably a few years ago, so I haven't we've got a blue canoe as well. Hello, I don't recognise you from the chat before. I think you must be new to the channel, or new to the lives anyway. Yeah, so it's a bit of I just feel like shell-shocked, and obviously Ian told me at breakfast this morning, and I was totally shocked. I was like, oh no, you're joking, that's what came out of me mouth. And Ian was like, well no, of course I'm not joking, I wouldn't joke about something like that, obviously, but what else can you say? I was just, and of course because I work in mental health as well, and although I do mainly work, me marketing is promoted to women, but I do work with men, and I do get inquiries from men, and I don't turn them away if I can help them, and if I can fit them in and what have you. So, and before I started marketing to women, I did market to men, and I got tumbleweed mainly. I got a lot of interest, but I didn't, not many people would comment on me videos and stuff, but people would come up to us in person and say they really related to what I was saying. So hiya Annie, you've actually caught us at the beginning. Wow. So I'm just starting me live with some really sad news that someone we know's taken his own life, and he had a wife and 2 young children, very young children. So it's, I feel a bit shell-shocked. And then my other friend wanted some help, and I just felt completely overwhelmed and not able to help her. I realised it had affected us more than I thought it had, because you just get on with your day, don't you, and then you haven't had that space to sort of process it and think about it and stuff. And yeah, you are on it today, very much. So do you like me background today? I've got me black curtains up, and the reason that I've got them up is because sometimes I have clients who don't know about the podcast, or I'm not sure if they know. So if I'm not sure if they know or not, I put that up, so just in case. So I've got some left-wing clients who I don't think would like me politics, and obviously it's not relevant to the counselling. So sometimes when I'm doing video meetings, I have to cover up me propaganda. Not that it's propaganda, but me decorations. So yeah, I feel quite exhausted. It was absolutely full on. And usually when I go to London, I usually book about like the 6:30 train. But this weekend, because I knew that the Battle of Ideas was finishing at 6:30, I booked the 7:30 one. But by 4 o'clock, I was done. I just couldn't. I couldn't take any more information in. So, yeah. So Friday, I was doing really well. Got the metro with plenty of time, and then it got to Haymarket, and it stopped, and I thought, oh. And there was an announcement that it was going to talk. The driver was talking to the control panel, and then after about 5 minutes, they said that the train was terminating because of a problem with the rails. So I had to get off the metro and leg it down to Central Station. I had 20 minutes to get there, and it's about a 15-minute walk, so I literally just got to the platform as the train pulled in, so I didn't have any time to get a drink or go to the toilet or anything. But anyway, I wasn't running, so that's a good thing, because I had more than like 3 minutes to get to the train. I managed to walk. I didn't have to run, but I did have to walk fast, which isn't good when you've got like your suitcase and I had my backpack, which I ended up abandoning because the zip broke. So then I got to London about 2 o'clock, managed to navigate across London to my hotel. I was staying in like near Victoria Station, near Pimlico. I only know that place in London because of Pimlico Plumbers. It's like fake Rod Stewart. Look him up, he's hilarious. But he did say during the lockdowns that he was going to enforce vaccines on all of his staff, so I didn't really like that. I'm just making a note for myself because I mentioned that to my friend Marilyn when I got there. It's like Marilyn, but she's Australian, so it's Marilyn. You have to say it in an Aussie accent, but I haven't got a good Aussie accent. I'm going to send her a picture of fake Rod because it's funny. So yeah, look him up. He's quite funny. Anyway, so the plan was to. Yeah, it might be a wig. It looks terrible, doesn't it? You do know who I mean. So the plan was that we're going to go out at 7 o'clock after Marilyn finished work and have something to eat. And then we're going to meet up with Lindsay. You know, Lindsay Smith, who was banned from Newcastle. She was going down as well because she was on the panel. And she had to work on Friday, so she wasn't able to come until after work. So she wasn't going to get there until about 8 o'clock. So the plan was to go out for food at 7 and then meet up with Lindsay. And then I got a message off Marilyn saying she wasn't up to going to work after all. So because she had like, well, I won't go into it because it's not my stuff to tell you. She might not want everybody to know, but she wasn't feeling up to go to work, so she wanted to meet up earlier and have an early night so that she could get some sleep. So we ended up, she came down and met me. She was looking for the hotel. She found the pub, so I went along to the pub at the end of the street. Oh, but before that, like, I was staying in an annex, like, next to the hotel. So this young man took me to my room, which was, like, round the corner from the hotel. And he was asking where I'd come from. And I was telling him why I was there. And I said, oh, it's the Battle of Ideas. And he was like, oh, what's that about? I mean, like, what sort of things are the ideas? And my mind just went blank. Because I couldn't remember any of the sessions or anything, but what I should have just said was, oh, it's about politics, because he started going on about science. Anyway, I was very hot when I got to my hotel room and put the air conditioning on full blast. Anyway, then I met Marilyn in the pub, and she met the barmaid. Can you still call them that? The young lass behind the bar was Australian. She finds them all. Marilyn asked what she recommended, and she said fish finger sandwiches with chips. And I decided to get that. It was not fish finger sandwiches like you would think. Like, this was like big chunky fish goujons. They were lovely. So I had that. I had 2 pints of neck oil, and then I did me live, didn't I? After I made 2 pints of beer. So yeah, I hope it was all right, and I wasn't waffling too much. So probably the next day we're gonna meet at Weatherspoons for breakfast, and Google Maps is really shit when you're walking, isn't it? Really shit. So I got sent the wrong way a few times. It took me past where I needed to be. Yeah, I had a right time of it trying to find the station and getting to my hotel, because it took me the long way. And then on the way back to the station in the morning, I got taken the wrong way, was walking around for ages. Then I found the Weatherspoons. I just wanted a full English. I got to the Weatherspoons and I couldn't get in. And I thought, oh, maybe it's because it's round the back. So I found the front, walked all the way around the other side, and that was locked as well. And I was like, oh my God. And I thought I was being stupid, and that, because the address on Google was saying that it was inside some sort of shopping centre, but I couldn't see that. So I thought I was being thick with the map, but I wasn't, because I went on the Sunday and it was open and I had a full English on the Sunday. But yeah, so I ended up in Starbucks having a flipping cheese and ham toasty, so that was shit. And Marilyn found it hard to wake up and get herself going in the morning because she wasn't very well, so she was running late, and so we didn't meet exactly where we were meant to be meeting. Got on the tube anyway, got to Westminster, walked across to the venue, which was Church House. It's like a big conference centre, and there was it was like a massive rabbit warren building. It was really old, and apparently Churchill had done some war stuff in there, meetings and stuff, talking to whatever Parliament, whatever you call them. And then so I went into the main hall. It was huge and it had a balcony. I didn't realise at first, but there was like people round the sides, up at the top as well, and just huge space. So everybody gathered there for the welcoming speech, and then I stayed in there for the first session. Now let me see what that was, because I can't remember. Saturday. Can we fix the dysfunctional state? So it was Claire Fox did the introduction, because she's like the director of the Battle of Ideas. And she said thank you to the sponsors, Ben Dello and Alistair Donald. And then we went straight into can we fix the dysfunctional state? So it was a general like chat about the way the state's run, how shit it is really, and how, was it in that one? So this was a panel with Lord David Frost, Munira Mirza, sorry I pronounced that wrong, and I can't remember who that was. I've just got vague recollect. This was like, it feels like a long time ago. Jacob Reynolds and Andreas Wiesman. Oh yes, he was the I remember the panel now. So Claire Fox hosted it, and then they all said their bit and said what was wrong with it and said what we should do. And one of them actually said we need a smaller government and we need to be more precise about what we're asking from government. And then they were also talking about how it's devolved to quangos and stuff, and so that's really bad, and that's why we can't hold them to account, and really we need to sack all the quangos, get rid of them. But also one of the things that came up was that the people in power are just cowards, and they don't want to rock the boat. so they won't take decisive action. And then the next session, I decided it was really difficult to choose from the sessions because what I didn't realise when I was doing my live on Friday night, I had printed this off, but it was printed on A4 paper. But if you can see the shape of that, it's not A4, so this bit had all cut off. So I was 2 sessions missing at the end. So there was 2 venues, one in Church House, and then the other place was in the Abbey Centre across the road. So for the next session, I decided to go to the Abbey Centre, and this session was called The Rise and Fall of Private Life, and it's got some celebrities on the panel. So I walked into the room, spotted Kathleen Stock, and I don't know if I'm imagining it, but like she seemed to do a double take when she saw me, but I don't know if I'm imagining that, because I don't think I'm that famous, am I? I'm not sure. I don't know how well known I am and whether I would have been noticed by people or not. Don't know. And so she was just in the audience, I think. So the speaker was called Tiffany Jenkins, and she'd written a book, and she was really knowledgeable about privacy and secrecy, and it might come back to us. I'm probably not going to remember all the points, and I didn't make notes. So on the panel was Andrew Gold, Abbot Christopher Jameson, can't remember, and then the chair was Timandra Harkness. Ah yes, I remember her now. Yeah. So that was really interesting, and Andrew Gold had said that the way technology's going, it's going to be able to read your mind, read your thoughts. So there was some, oh yes, that was it, he was a vicar. Now I remember. So he's not called Abbot, that he's an abbot. Oops. So he was called Christopher Jameson, but he was an abbot. Silly me, I'm very tired. I got in at about 11 o'clock last night, went straight to bed, got up this morning and came straight to work, so I'm quite tired. Yeah, so the abbot, the religious man, he was talking about confession and how it's therapeutic, and we're talking about therapy and how that's similar to the confession but different. Yeah, so that's that session. And then, which one did I go to next? Ah yes, Andrew Gold, Heretics, him. Yeah, it was him. So the next session I went to was in the Temple Room back in Church House, and it was over lunch. So it was Schools Out, the Rise of Home Education. Basically, there was nobody really arguing that schools were very beneficial for children, which was one of the criticisms of the woman that I ended up sitting next to. So that was, yeah. So on the panel was Venice Allen, who I'd spotted on the way in to the event. So I knew that she probably wouldn't know who I was, so I smiled at her. And and I saw Tanya as well. Also on the panel was John Dennon, Jules Saville Hippely, and Gareth Sturdy was the chair. I can't really remember who they were because I couldn't see. I was right at the back. It was quite a busy room. Just gonna have a drink of tea. So I could hear what was being said but couldn't see them, so I think that's, yeah. So there was, I can't really remember what they said about school, but just how enriching it was, and there was a lot of home ed people in there. There was also a lot of children in that room, and I think I made a mistake on the next session because I found that my concentration was wandering, so I don't think I was interested as much in the session after, and I wish I'd gone to something else instead. But anyway, I was in the room and I made a decision to stay where I was, and so the next thing, what should schools teach about sex and relationships? And I moved further forward in the room when everybody started moving around. So on the panel was Phyllis, I think that's how you pronounce that, Basball, oh, I'm not sure, Stephanie Davies Airy, who you will probably know because she's from Transgender Trend, Penny Lewis, who I had been sitting next to in the session over the road about private life with Andrew Gold. Then there was Joanne Nadler, and Ella Whelan was the chair. And basically, yeah, they were talking about who should be teaching sex education. And then this guy got up and he was a teacher, and I have to say that the like feeling in the room, the seeming consensus in the room was that because he was a teacher and he said he taught about, like, if the kids started asking about trans, he would have a conversation with them. And everybody in the room, including Stephanie Davies Airy, I don't know how you pronounce that, sorry, the consensus seemed to be that that was okay and that he was doing a good job. But I was sitting next to the conservative women, so Lee and this other woman, I didn't catch her name, and we were just like looking at each other going, because I didn't think he understood what he was, because it was kind of, to me, he was like normalising it, but the way he came across, he was like having good banter with the kids, which I suppose you might want in the classroom. I'm just not sure about that subject, because like if you normalise trans to kids, then they're going to think it's okay and it's not harmful, and I'm not sure that he had a good enough grasp on the harms to be able to sort of explain that. That was the impression I got anyway. So I had a bit of a, that was the first time I really disagreed, really strongly disagreed with anything that anybody had said. But it's good because not everybody agreed with each other, and yeah, so that was good. What did I go to last? What did I go to? I can't remember. Let's have a look. Oh yes, there was a session back over in the Morris Hall, the Parker Morris Hall in the Abbey Centre. So the same room where I saw Andrew Gold in that session, it was in that room, and this one was about rape gangs, the post office, and Scottish self-ID, and an anatomy of 3 scandals. And Annie's saying sounds like he didn't. I don't think he understood. He just thought it was a great thing to, you know, to share differences. Like, and oh, isn't it lovely that some people are gay and some people are trans, which I think kind of misses the point. Anyway, this session was really, really good. Very, very good. So the people on the panel you might know. So it's Charlie Peters, who's a journalist who's talked a lot on some podcasts, and I think he's been on GB News, but don't quote me, because then there was Nick Wallace, who knows a lot about the post office scandal. I did recognise him, but I didn't know what his name was. Claire Fox was chairing that session, and then we had Susan Smith from For Women Scotland. Now, Susan Smith was introduced last, so it was Charlie. Oh, hello, Paul. I'm just going through me sessions, so you'll have to rewind when I've finished so you can hear, because I'm halfway through. I'm like on the Saturday now. So yeah, Charlie Peters was introduced first, and he got a round of applause, and yeah, and then Nick Wallace was introduced, and then Susan Smith was introduced, and like it was like everybody in the whole room was like really pleased to have her, and she got a very warm welcome, and then the other two were joking that they were the supporting act for Susan Smith, which was quite funny. So it was basically talking about the scandals and how they were covered up, and it was a bit more in depth. It was quite similar to the first session that I was in, Can We Fix the Dysfunctional State? But it was a bit more in depth about how they cover up the scandals, and how they're just not holding, government can't be held to account, really, can it? So yeah, so that was a really good session. And then after that, we went to a drinks reception. This company was supportive, this hospitality company was supportive of the festival. Everyone has been civilised so far at the sessions, yeah. Yeah, it got a bit more, people got a bit more argumentative on the Sunday, because I think people started relaxing more. So when I went, so I told you, like, that after the first session I went across the road to the Abbey Centre, so I was walking past, there was like loads of people standing outside Church House because they were all smoking or vaping, and I had to walk past them all and cross the road, and this woman ran after us and go, "Oh, you're on TikTok!" And I was just like, "Oh my god, yes I am." So she recognised me, which was a bit weird. So that's why, like, so when I walked into the room and Kathleen Stock, like, I think she did a double take, but I'm not quite sure. I don't know. How well known do you think I am, people? Am I being deluded? Because I think Andrew Gold did the same, but I might have just been imagining it. Because, like, I don't know, I get a bit starstruck around famous people, which is ridiculous, but I can't help it. It's like, oh my god, I've seen that person on the TV. And I know they're just people. Anyway, we had a free drink at the afterwards in this place, so we had to walk to this, so it was St James's Place, I think, is that the tube station? It was like a shopping centre on top of the tube station. I know that you know us, Paul. But I don't know how many people have noticed me who are more high profile. I imagined that they didn't know me, but maybe they do. Oh, hello, Uta. Yeah, I don't usually go live on a Monday afternoon, and I didn't tell anyone I was going to do it, but I decided to, just because I've got a lot to talk about after being in London for the weekend, so I thought I would come on. So yeah, so I decided to go back to the hotel about 10 o'clock. Oh yes, before that though, so I had the drink, saw loads of people I knew in the bar, and it was kind of like a private venue for us, so we got a token for a free drink, and then you had to buy your own after that. So Lindsay Smith was there. I saw Penny, who was on my podcast. I saw, just flipping, it was like spot the turf, spot all the people I've been watching for the last like 3 years on YouTube. So Paul's saying, when I used to run a blog, I went to a meeting and people started asking for selfies. It was well weird. Well, no one's done that yet, but there was a picture. Now, so I was with Marilyn, and she said she wasn't feeling well and she was probably going to go home, but she ended up staying out till 1 o'clock in the morning. So, but I went home at 10. Anyway, before I went home, so all these people in this room, people I'd been watching on YouTube for like 3 years. It was bizarre. And I was like, oh, there's Stephen Barrett. Has anybody come across his channel yet? Barrister, he's amazing. I saw him. So I met Penny for the first time, who was on me, as who I interviewed, but I'd never met her in real life. So that was good. And then And then I saw Lindsay Smith, so I collared her, and she's the life and soul of the party, so she knew all the famous turfs. So she was with Cara Dansky, Venice Allen, Julia Long, who else was in the photo? I can't remember. Let's have a look. Let us get the picture up, because we had a picture together, which I have shared on social media. Yeah, so Lee's in that picture as well. The two women from the Conservative women. Yes, Alison, it's the barrister with the long hair. He's constantly playing with it. Yeah, and there's the bloke in that picture as well. I'm not sure who he is. And then there's a woman at the front who was the speaker. And she was talking about ban the burger. She was in that session. She was leading it. So I did ask her if she wanted to come on my podcast, and I've given her a card, and I'm hoping she's going to come on. But yeah, it was just spot. So anyway, Lindsay had introduced me to Venice Allen, and Venice Allen knew who I was, and I was like, I didn't think she would. Don't know why I thought that, but she was like, oh yes, are you Kelly Powell? And I was like, I thought she'd said Powell, and I was like, and then I realised she was asking if I was Party of Women, and I was like, yes. So she'd heard of me. She knew who I was. So, yeah. So then we went across to the pub across the road where I got some food, and Lindsay and all them went off. Oh, and then I got introduced to Tracy Edwards as well. So she's a, how do you say it? She plays with boats. Is she a sailor? I don't know. So Sunday, managed to get me full English. So I was nice and happy, well fed for the sessions on the Sunday. The Sunday it started a bit later. The first session was jumping. So it was about digital ID, privacy versus safety, and it had Alan Miller, Morgan Wilde and Tiffany Jenkins. So that was the woman who wrote the book, who was in the other session. Now Morgan Wilde was the guy from who co-wrote the legislation, and he's from this think tank, and then Alan Miller, who I'd met as we were waiting for it all to start on Saturday. Ah, hello Mel, you've been watching for 20 minutes. So yeah, so he'd gone past putting leaflets on all the chairs, and Marilyn had gone, oh, I know you, are you famous? And I was like, Marilyn, that's Alan Miller from Together. And he came over and shook my hand and asked who I was and stuff. He was very nice. But yeah, so before the session I had gone to talk to the woman outside who was handing out leaflets, and you can join the Together Declaration. It's £50 a year, and yeah, so I'm thinking about joining that. But anyway, so they did really well to get the guy who wrote the legislation, because the whole room were basically agreed with each other that we don't like digital ID, we don't want it, it's a safety concern, it's a privacy concern, it's a cock-up concern. But this guy, well, credit to him for coming, but I have to say he just didn't really, I don't think he really cared about convincing us, because he had no evidence. He made sweeping statements which were laughed at, because he said that digital ID would help us to hold the government to account, and everyone just burst out laughing, because the whole of the Saturday was everybody talking about how hard it is to hold government to account, and how you can't, because like you don't even know who's making the decisions, because yeah. Anyway, so the only time he made any sense to me, and I think I was open to hearing the other side of it. The only time he said anything credible was when he was acknowledging our concerns about how an ID card was had in the past. Now, I might get the details wrong, and probably Paul will know more about this than me, because he's into history, I think. but he said that sorry, I just had an email. Exactly. Yes, so I'm coming to that, Paul, about the government can't say what a woman is. What was I saying? Yeah, so when they had ID cards in the past, and then they became a death warrant. Now, I can't remember which country that was, but I'm not really familiar with what happened there. But, yeah. So, unbeknownst to me, Maya Forstatter was at the front of the session. I hadn't spotted her. I didn't see her come in. And she got up and said that the government, like, anybody can self-ID as male or female, like, and change their legal sex, how you're supposed to have accurate information. There was a guy who'd worked in IT for 40 years who says he's never seen a completely secure system yet. So, yeah, and Annie's going on about systems down today. So, yeah, so Paul, you reminded us Maya Forstatter was in the room. So at that point, I was just like messaging my friends going, oh, guess who's here? My MP sent me a letter, this is Mel, with a string of political reasons to object to digital ID in addition to the general public's objections you mentioned. Yeah, there was loads of objections. I mean, basically, I was just sitting there like nodding because they told us not to clap, but everybody was, because they were pushed for time because there was so many people wanted to object, and people were saying things like, what about people who don't want to or can't use a smartphone and stuff like that. Yeah, but they're targeting like me first because I'm a company director, and they're trying to roll it out, but apparently there's a workaround, so I'll need to find out what that is. So what was next? Oh yes, I stayed in the room for Policing Today 2-Tier Justice, and this was Peter Blexley, who you might recognise because he's always on the TV, and he's a Cockney, and he's really down to earth, and he's great. Luke Gittos, who was a barrister, I think. Sarah Phillimore, who retweeted one of my tweets because, what did she say again? I just loved what she said. I'm just going to get it up. So she was talking about the police, and she's followed me back, which is good. So what she said was, once you've lost the middle-aged women, you haven't got much further to fall. Yeah, so Mel's got the same problem but planning to close her company. Well, I can't close my company, so unfortunately, yeah, I'm going to have to, yeah, maybe it's by post. Yeah, we'll have to do everything by post. So, yeah, so I tweeted that with a picture, and she retweeted it, and that's got quite a lot of traction on Twitter because I don't really get that much on. So anyway, there was some really common sense stuff said. Who else was on there? So there was Sarah Phillimore for Faircop, Hardeep Singh, Simon McKean. I don't know how to pronounce his surname. But anyway, that was a really good session as well. Some really good points made. You know, we need the police. We need them to work effectively. The next session that I went to was Podcast Live, so it was Tanya de Grunwald, who was being on my podcast, so I went to support her. Met Hero, who was also on my podcast. She was in that session, and loads of other people from LinkedIn who I've made friends with, who back me up when I poke people, including Maria McLaughlin's husband, Alan, and Levi, who is actually he's from down there, but he lives up here, so that was interesting because I got to chat to him. So poor Tanya was really nervous, so that was funny. It wasn't funny that she was nervous, but it was nice to support her. and she was doing really well because everybody in that room knew who she was. It's just so good, and she had a stand as well. And then I went into Will DEI Ever Die, and on the panel, you won't know all of these people, but you'll know some of them. Andrew Doyle, Tim Crowley, I don't know who he is, James Essers, Megan Murphy, Akua Reindorf, Casey, and Ella Whelan was the chair. And there was a bit of tension in this session because Megan Murphy was talking longer than she was supposed to, so she just kept overrunning, and the chair was like, Ada. So I thought that was quite interesting. And at that point, like, I think I'd lost the will to live by that point. My brain was just full. I couldn't think straight. And so I stayed in the room for, we need to talk about genocide, and I probably shouldn't have, because I didn't know about the topic, and yeah, and at that point I decided to go for the train. Even though my train was booked for later on, I decided not to stay. And so because I really wanted to go to Julia Long's session, but I met up with another friend after I gave up, and she said that someone was, I can't remember what she said, but she really disagreed with one of the women, and the whole audience did as well. Something about, yeah, so it was called Damsels in Distress. So that had Julia Long in, but I don't know which woman said something that they disagreed with. Don't think it would have been Julia Long, but you never know, do you? So yeah, so by this point I lost the will to live. I decided to go early for my train just to make sure I'd got there, thankfully, because I didn't have a Danny LaRue when I got on the tube. I went down the wrong stairs, and then I was like, oh, I'm not sure if this is the right way. Ended up asking someone, and I'd gone on the wrong platform. It was the right line, but the wrong platform. And then, yeah, so, and then I had to wait ages for my train, like over an hour for my train. But I do get twitchy in case I'm going to miss it. And then, so it was a direct train. Well, the train went from London King's Cross to Edinburgh Waverley, but it only stopped at Newcastle and Morpeth in between, which was the same on the way down, so it's quite quick. So I was just glad to get home, and it was raining as well. But I didn't get in until like after 11. So that was me day. And I did have something else to talk about, but I can't remember what. Oh yes, this morning I got me subject access request back off Kent Police. So now I know why they were contacting me. And I will tell you. So if you remember rightly, I've talked about this a few times before. Basically, I poked a few TRAs on LinkedIn, and they reported me to my professional body. I was suspended, and then they unsuspended me, but they kept the complaint open in case the complainants wanted to go to the police. So I was kind of expecting the police to contact me, but when they did, it was Kent Police, and I thought that was weird because I'm nowhere near Kent. I'm in the northeast. It's quite a long way. Yeah, so the complaint is still open with NCPS. So we're going to leave it open for 3 months, and it's just about coming up, so probably next week is when that runs out. So I don't know what they're going to do next, whether they're going to close it, but so yes, so the information that I've got, it says it's on this thing, primary offence. Listen to this: harassment without violence, and in brackets course of conduct. And then it says, so it's created on the 8th of August. the results are no. Then this. I mean, I'm not telling you everything, because obviously it's some personal information. Suspect related entry, officer, staff, and then the number. On the 17th of the 7th, 2025, at 18:25, suspect has been named as a Kelly Oliver Dougall. And then on the 8th of the 8th, results, suspect named as Kelly Dougall. And, oh, it's just got me website and my phone number. I don't think I've got my phone number on my website. I don't know where they've got that from. Anyway, update 16th of the 9th, updated by user PC46 whoever. So it says S called FCR claiming I was a scam. So I think S means suspect. I didn't claim it was a scam. I was investigating because it wasn't clear whether it was real or not. Have sent the below to her, and basically it's just copied and pasted in to there, saying what she sent to me. And then underneath that it says suspect focused, no action dash evidential difficulties. So basically I think that means that the thing is closed because there's not enough evidence. There's no way that I harassed anybody. It was an interaction on social media. Nobody said I don't want to talk to you, stop contacting me. So how can that be harassment? So it's obviously a load of rubbish. So I have sent this information to the Free Speech Union. There is some more other stuff on there, but I don't think any of it, it's just like bump about subject access requests. So yeah, so much has happened over the weekend. But what did you think? What is the allegation re-harassment? Well, basically there's like pages and pages of screenshots that were sent to the NCPS, which is the professional body, and not one bit harassment hasn't been mentioned until now. But the other thing that I did was, if you remember, there was one person who threatened to complain, and it didn't happen for quite a long time, and then when it did, there was 3 of them. I'm not going to mention the names, but one of them's quite well known. There was 3 of them that initially came through, and then I started talking to this other woman, and she works for one of the other professional bodies, and I looked her up, and she lives in Margate, so it's definitely her. So yeah, so no idea what the allegation regarding harassment is, because there was nothing mentioned about harassment in the complaint or on social media or anything. I haven't been in touch with any of them, and FSU told me not to interact with them, so this is why it's been dropped, because well, they haven't got evidence of harassment. So it was basically a load of shit, wasn't it? The whole thing was a load of shit. Anyway, yes, as Annie says, the Darlington Nurses Tribunal is on this week. Wednesday at 9 o'clock, Newcastle Magistrates. But is it Newcastle Magistrates? It's at Haymarket, isn't it? I'm not sure where that is, because well, I've been to an employment tribunal before, and it was on the quayside, so yeah, I am planning to go on Wednesday. Annie, are you going as well? My friend Louise from up north was asking me about that as well. I think she wants to go. So I've been talking for how long? 54 minutes, and yes, feels like a long time. I've had a lot to talk about, yeah, though. Yeah, you're going, excellent. I'll probably see you there then, unless something terrible happens. I shouldn't say stuff like that. Lots of terrible things are happening that I can't really talk about. Barry's Bridge. Is it not Barras Bridge? So I had a look at the map that they put in the information that I got sent, and yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure if you can, Mel. I don't know if you can get into it. You probably can, because there is a public gallery, but I think they're holding a Let Women Speak outside, so you can get public access, but you had to request it before Friday. So Barras, yes. Are you on your phone, Annie? Is it auto correcting? So yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, I thought it was auto correct. So that's all my news that I can talk about. How's about you? Spurious nonsense should be charged with wasting police time, says Mel. Yeah, absolutely. Let's see. Yeah, I haven't got a clue what it's relating to, but I'm wondering if there's an attack gonna happen now once it's like finished. I don't know. Oh, Let Women Speak event, yes. So yeah, there was a Let Women Speak in Oxford on Saturday as well, so I missed that because I was at the Battle of Ideas, and also there was a protest on digital IDs on Saturday as well. So I think Alan Miller was at that, and that's why he spoke on the Sunday rather than the Saturday. The sessions on the Saturday were mainly better than the ones on the Sunday. But I was really pleased to meet Hiral, because I've not met her before, and she's been on my podcast. She's into DEI, but she's one of the sensible people. And then I had a good conversation with Levi, and then like just in the toilets and stuff like that, I was introducing myself and people knew who I was. It was really bizarre. I'm the quiet one, so I'm not used to being recognised, and I'm not really, I can't even string a sentence together. I'm so tired. I'm not used to people knowing who I am when I don't know who they are. It was very wet in Oxford, apparently. Was it? It was lively, says Paul. And Mel says it was very wet. Yeah, it was chucking it down in London on Sunday. And of course I was in this conference centre, so I couldn't see out the window, but I knew it was forecast. And then like I went to the toilet before I left, got talking to people, and I was going, has anybody seen a window? Is it raining? Is it still raining? Because I had seen someone coming in. I had seen someone coming in that was wet, so I was wondering if it was raining, and nobody knew. So when I got outside, it was drizzling a little bit. It wasn't too bad. But when I got to Newcastle, it was chucking it down. But I was kind of undercover for most of it, and then got on the metro, and I had to walk home, and it was chucking it down in Whitley Bay. So I put my umbrella up. It was overcast in Oxford, but it didn't rain much. And it'll be dull in the ET hearing room compared to the KJK event. Yeah, I think so. I think it'll be quite lively outside. That'll be interesting. Yeah, I'm wondering what that's going to be like, because I have been to an employment tribunal before, and it was my husband, and it was the most stressful thing I've ever done. And then, like, when I had problems in my job, really, I should have went to tribunal as well, but I knew how stressful it was, and I didn't want to, and it put me off, so I didn't hold them to account as much as I should have done. So I've got a few regrets, but it was so stressful. I think I was glad when it was over. Anyway, I have been talking for nearly an hour, so, and I'm starting to get croaky. I'm going to use my salt pipe because, yeah, I've still got a bit of a sore chest. I did have a shower after Uta suggested it on Friday. That was good. That, like, really helped. But I didn't sleep well on Friday night. Slept better on Saturday night, probably because I was so tired. So yeah, so this is a Himalayan salt pipe, which is good for your chest. It really does help, even though it's only salt and you're only like inhaling it. So you put the salt in there, and there's a little bung there, and there's vent holes, and then you just breathe in the salt vapor, and it's like salt therapy. Brilliant update. Have some custard tonight, Kelly. Mel, I'm never ever gonna live that down on her. They had sticky toffee pudding on Saturday night in the pub, and they didn't have custard. They had ice cream with it, but no custard. But you could get apple crumble with custard. I don't really like apple crumble, so I decided not to have a dessert. But if I'd had one, I probably would have asked them if they could do sticky toffee pudding with custard, because if they've got both of them, you can just be a pain. Now that I'm like nearly 50, I'm more prepared to be a pain in the arse. Whereas when I was younger, I would have just went, can't ask for that. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me, everyone, and I'm gonna go. I'm gonna stop streaming, and it's 4:15, so yeah, I will have a rest. I'll rest my voice, and I think I'm gonna need an early night tonight because I'm just bloody exhausted and a bit emotional and a bit croaky because it was loud in the pub, and I was actually talking, and I have hurt my throat a little bit from that. But yeah, it's been a good weekend, so thank you for coming and joining me. There is a video released tonight, Alexis, sorry, and it was recorded a while ago, but I decided to release it now. The ice cream self-ID is custard. No, it doesn't. Paul, you can't self-ID. You can't. And, oh yes, that was the other thing that happened. Dusty revealed his true identity to me, and I know who he is. He was actually involved in supporting with the election, which I didn't realise. Anyway, excellent, Alison. Your hair's nearly dry. Great. Yeah, I'll see you all next time. See you later. Bye.